Obviously, happy for our guys, the way they battled, the way they competed, to get the result they've been trying to get for the last couple of weeks against a terrific team. Proud of them, kept battling back. It wasn't always pretty, it wasn't going exactly how planned all the time, which that's life, and they responded. And like I said, that's what I'm most proud of, just how they kept responding, kept coming back, kept battling, and found a way. So obviously a lot of individual performances, some show in the stats, some don't, but I thought everybody gave us great contributions and we're able to close the door there at the end. Questions? Chairman in the back.
Can you help us out with the intentional foul away from the basket? What is the rule there? And knowing that might be coming after the Minnesota game, are you in the ref's ears a little bit, just kind of saying, hey, watch for that?
It's a rule. It's in the video. Can't do it. It made the video after last year's season. So anything that there's not a play in the ball like that, it's a rule. So I thought it was the right call. Tom?
I know you had a lot of individual efforts that were very good in this game, but what about Ethan really on both ends of the floor, and a little slow start around the basket, but really came on.
Yeah, I thought specifically I noticed the surge. I think I pulled him, he had missed a couple. I thought he was a little fatigued, trying to play a little too fast I put him back in just before the 8-minute media in the second half. And I thought from that point on, he was terrific, played like an All-American, played like a senior. But defensively, he did some good things. For Brodzikas, which is mostly his matchup, not all the time, but to hold him to what he did and do some good things defensively, I thought that was a good sign. But he's a big time player that at the time when the game was on the line made some plays, and that's what hopefully people in his position have an opportunity to do. And thought he was really good from, like I said, that 8-10, 8-20, whenever he went back in. I was trying to hold him a little bit longer, but he went back in and delivered.
On the left here.
Coach, just in terms of some of the smaller things, how much in practice or in game plans has been trying to get more to the line? I know your guys' first free throw tonight was at the 8:25 mark in the second half. Is that something that you guys kind of emphasize or try to work on, just to try to get to the line more?
Every day. Bags, contact, coaches against each other in terms of live physical contact. Try to minimize it. Have bodies hitting all the time, just to try to be smart about it. But yeah, we emphasize feeding the post, the angles, touching the post. Got to continue to. We were 7 for 18 in the paint in the first half. Got to be better. Got to be better than that. Got to finish. Got to draw more fouls. But the emphasis hasn't changed. The results need to be better.
Jim.
Greg, you always talk about staying connected defensively. Considering how many weapons Michigan has, did you think you did a pretty good job of that today?
By the live, as the game went on, I thought so. I'm sure I'll find things in tape. There were 2 ball screens in the first half that we were not connected. We made mistakes on those. They made us pay for them. There were things, obviously, but I thought by and large, a large percentage of the possessions, and they were .83, I think. Jim, do you have the numbers? I haven't even seen my stat guy yet. They just said .83 after the game. So that tells me that, when you hold a team like that to that number, consistency is the biggest thing. We've been good in spurts. We've been good long enough against good teams. And our league, as everybody knows, there's not any bad ones. But so you've got to be consistent for 60, 70, 75, 80, whatever number of possessions it is. And we were more consistent tonight than we've been over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Greg, sometimes a game like this can be decided by hustle plays. I don't know if you remember the sequence. You guys were down a point. Michigan tried to break out Brad, broke up the pass, you ended up scoring. Next possession, Ethan dives on the floor, calls the team out. Is it simple as making those plays that's going to put a team over the top?
They're part of it. I don't know if it's the whole answer, but yeah, you have to make the extra effort plays. We chart it. It's part of our 12 things we look at when we grade a game. 50-50 balls. Did we win it? And obviously those 2 will go in that category. I don't know if we won it yet. I'll see a final grade probably late tonight or catch up with it over the weekend. But you have to make those plays. That has to be a mentality that's all the time. Ball's loose on the floor. There's a chance 50-50. You got to win it. And like I said, those two plays specifically, obviously we were able to be the one that came out on top.
Greg, you mentioned at the start, players maybe not having the stats on the sheet that really made a difference. I looked at Nate today and it seemed he really ramped up his defense another level. Can you just give me your impressions of how he played today and maybe just his defense?
Well, he's growing, and I don't mean that like physically, I don't know if he's getting taller in terms of his experience level. And I talked about that last year, how he picked up ball screen our plan, how we do that as fast as any freshman that we've had here as a big guy. So now he's starting to put those reps, those experiences he had a year ago to work, and nobody does a better job in ball screens than Michigan with Simpson and Teskey and all those guys with it. So it was a heck of a challenge. So I think he did a really good job there. I'd like to see him continue to rebound a little bit better, and that'll get better as he gets more stronger, more aggressive, more confidence on that end of the floor. But yeah, he was one of those guys without Brad Davison. Very simple 3 for 6, but man, he was everywhere. They don't have a stat for he's everywhere. I don't see that on here. And Dimitri Trice, thought he did a good job of keeping Simpson, keeping pressure on him, and that helps your defense and buys time when we're trying to guard action away from the ball. So, I said there were a lot of things that were, even the bench, so guys that didn't go as deep the second half, but every time out, I had to quiet them down because they were all encouraging and positive and chattering and trying to help coach guys on the bench. So it's a good sign. It tells your group's connected.
Stephen, back.
Coach, I know it's only January, but what can a win like this do for this team, just confidence-wise, and what did they really prove to you today?
Well, they proved that they got it. I mean, and we've known that. It's just a matter of showing it all the time. And as I've said all along, I've said it 2-3 years ago, I said to the team, if consistency was a place, it wouldn't be very populated. Meaning it's hard to get there and stay there. So for us today and their approach through this is usually about mentality. And the mentality to fight through adversity. You're going to have some days and things when things don't go well. How do you respond? And we have to get better. That was the whole point coming off of Maryland. Yeah, we made a nice comeback and we didn't make a shot or two at the end. But how can we get better over that 60, 70 possessions that took place during that game? And just every day you just take the approach of getting better, not worrying about the results. Worry about the process of, we practiced really well yesterday. Practiced okay the day before. Got better from the day before to yesterday. We took a step forward. Today we took another step. Now Monday when we come back, we got to take another step. So it's about how you approach your mindset. The ability is there. It's just a matter of, is the mindset always there, and how do you approach and how do you handle things when you don't get the results you want? You're gonna whine, you're gonna pout and feel sorry for yourself, or you're gonna come back and get better the next day. This group's mentality, even through the struggles we have always been a fighter's mentality. And I'm glad to see them get rewarded for persevering and not flinching and sticking with it when things weren't going so well.
Back.
Correct. Kobe King played right here, 31 minutes today off the bench, and he got a lot of run against Maryland as well. If he's kind of playing starters minutes, do you envision him cracking that starting lineup at any point, or do you kind of like the role that he's in right now?
I don't know. I mean, every day he's got to prove it again on Monday. You know, start over and earn it again on Monday. So matchups determine one thing. You know, with a lot of guys, how many minutes they get this game, that game. Some of it's matchup driven. Some of it's offensive flow, what I see, what I like, what I don't like. Somebody's playing well, might get more minutes. Not playing so well, maybe don't get as many. So I don't get too wound up in who starts. I've really never cared about that. We'll go with who we decide, and we talk about that before each scouting report. What's our matchups, and find the best fit and go forward. So you don't get any extra hamburgers at dinner if you start. There's no, hey, everybody has a role. Do your job. And he did his job.
Yeah.
Greg, if you look at Trice's line, he didn't score in the first half, didn't get a lot of shots, but you've always said, don't let your identity be based on your shooting. There was a sequence or anything, he drew a charge from Matthews and then from Ethan for a dunk. Is that an example of what you want him to do if your game's not, offensive not going well, just make plays for us?
Exactly. Yeah, don't want to be emotionally tied to whether the ball goes in or not. Because you may not have that many shots to light your emotions, and maybe they don't go in. So you got to find other ways to fuel your fire. I thought the play he made when he got deep in the lane, the ball screen, and found Ethan. He didn't make that play a year ago. He didn't make that play 6 months ago. He's slowly becoming more of a point guard in terms of feel, vision, decisions. But again, it's a matter of being consistent. So, got to build on it.
Back.
Hey, Greg, back here. The running theme for Michigan this year is going to be the balance, and a different guy can get you every night, blah, blah, blah. I wonder, what did you prioritize over other things in terms of attacking them defensively?
In terms of how we had to guard them,
Yes.
don't let Michigan score.
That was the priority. Okay.
Don't let Simpson score. Don't let Teskey score. Don't let Radzika score. Don't let Poole score. Don't let Liver score. Don't let Matthew score. Don't let Davis score. Don't let Brooks score. I mean, it was played our defense. They make tough shots. They got really good players. So that's a great team. We did a really good job defensively. I don't think anything was specific. Because if you key on one, they got 4 or 5, 6 others that'll get you. So we try to make it our team against their team. Our team defense has to be better than their team offense. And if there's tendencies, things, yeah, there's an in-depth scouting report, but it really boils down to we got to execute our plan better than they can execute theirs.
Jim.
Greg, Brad said the mantra of the day was kind of unfazed. Where did that come from? Can you share?
And you guys won't make 6 o'clock if I go into. All right, long story short, maybe you've seen some tweets. We had a speaker come in, a guy I've known for several years, Dave Anderson, who runs and owns the president of the Learn to Lead Academy out in LA. He's done a lot of things with pro players, a lot of things with college teams. I got to know him over the last couple of years. Finally worked where he could come in. Coincidentally, he spoke to the team last night. He's got a book out. He's got 14 books. He's a worldwide speaker, just on mindset. And one of the words that Dave talked about in his presentation last night or yesterday afternoon to the team was unfazed. Things may happen bad, still unfazed. Things happen good, still unfazed. And there were other things I'm not going to give you. You got to go read the book. Unstoppable is the name of the book. That'll give you a plug in for Dave. I think he's still around. He's flying back tomorrow. So he was terrific. One of the best I've ever heard. And it's coincidental. Like I said, it was planned over a month ago. So it wasn't like, oh, you lost 2 in a row. Let's bring him a speaker. No, he was coming anyway. He could have been sitting here at 6-0, and he was coming anyway. But that was, so again, I go back to mindset. Ability is there, and he talked about life. He didn't talk about just about playing Michigan or playing basketball. It was a life message, and I've always liked to do that. I've brought in a variety of speakers. Just coincidentally worked that he was in the Midwest and could make it to Madison for 2-3 days.
Jeff.
I think after the Maryland game, you mentioned you thought Aleem looked a little more sure of himself. Is today another step for him? He's going to have to do it again,
Right.
But did you see a little bit more?
Yeah, I thought the N1 finally shooting his first free throw of the year. Hey, journey starts with 1 step. So that was good. I mean, a good finish. You know, went through contact. Thought he could have done it in the first half. We didn't got one blocked or got it loose. Wanted to pump fake and power through people and didn't quite get it in the first half, second half. He did. So again, a step forward. Now we got to build on it.
Coach, I believe I've read one of those 14 books. Visualization. Did you guys envision the fans running onto the court tonight? I mean, what was your vision going into the game? Did you possibly imagine before tip-off, hey, we're going to knock off the #2 team in the nation?
We never really talked about being number 2. It's just the next opponent. That's why it was a big game, because of the next one. We'll have a big one on Wednesday. We'll enjoy this until midnight tonight. 12:01, we flip it to preparing for Illinois, and we'll start with that. Staff is already done, so no, you envision, you believe, but I don't go walk the sidelines going, oh, are they going to storm the court? No, I mean, you're just trying to do the best you can do, one possession at a time, and our guys played well. So stack successes together, possession by possession, day by day, and hopefully we continue to grow to a better team.
Anything else for Coach?
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Greg.